Okay, dude. No music today, but that's okay. We got a lot of stuff going on, man. We were just talking before we went on about podcasts we listened to about guys that spend 5-8 minutes talking about BS before they get right in. We're going to get right into it.
We ain't got no time for your BS. Even
Okay.
matter of fact, we don't even need to hear that story. Let's just get going.
we got a new president from Syracuse. Okay,
Yeah.
New president from Syracuse. He was an equity guy. He was a private equity guy at Syracuse. I got a feeling now that he's in Ann Arbor, that tune is going to change quickly. Thoughts on Syracuse? Hopefully, he's a long time solved problem. We don't hear from him much other than commencement speeches telling everybody how great we are.
Yeah, a guy that I, chat with about Michigan football. He's an attorney. He actually knows this guy from his days in law school. And the one thing he did say is one of the smartest guys he's ever met. Super smart guy. But this private equity thing, obviously, that doesn't sit well with a number of people. I'm not a fan of private equity in college athletics. So it's a new town and, new regents, new school. So maybe he puts that by the side and sees the way we like to do things in that regard.
Yeah. Big game for Harbs tonight. We'll be cheering him on. I don't have no particular order. We're going to bounce around. Big Michigan basketball game yesterday. I love our coach. I love our assistant coaches. Love who he's brought in. Anyone that's been around basketball long enough, sometimes the rim is huge and everything goes in. And there's other days it's small. Listen, we made shots. We scored 88 points, whatever, and still lost. But Wisconsin, the kid was 1 for 9 last game. He goes 5 for 5 to start the game, the big kid. So everything went in for them. I'm not freaking out. I got confidence in where we're at. We got good players, good coach, and I'm moving on. And Dusty sounded like he says the same things. Any thoughts there?
Well, a couple of things. One of the players commented after the game that that was the most physical defense they've played all year. So, welcome to the Big Ten. And then the other comment was by Dusty after the game where he said he didn't feel like this team had very particularly good practices leading up to these games. And maybe this gets them focused.
Okay, I didn't hear that. Well, there you go, man. You hate that. I've coached undefeated teams, and it's sometimes it's tough. It's tough mentally. You need to get punched in the face, and it's hard as a coach to keep them pissed off and hungry. And I've got faith in where we're at there. Great leadership. How about Jimmy Rolder going in the draft? Great player. He probably would have been a captain. I really loved, I remember talking to his stepdad when he was like a sophomore. His stepdad played with my brother at Illinois. And, the kid was frustrated and talking about leaving. And then now he has a great year. Wink loved him. I think that Wink, in his power and his influence, told the NFL guys this, and obviously you look at the film, he can play. But I think that might have, he's got great reference there. He's going to be an NFL player. He had a great year. I thought he had a real good year for Michigan. Sad to see him leave, but he's leaving. He probably would have been a captain. Linebacker room. The kid's going to Texas, the kid we wanted, right? The kid out of Pitt.
Yep.
Okay. So where are we at with linebackers?
So we have this kid from Cal who was in on a visit. Oh my God, Uolave, I believe his last name is. That's getting to the point where it's going to have to be a must-get kind of guy because we missed out on the Texas kid, Bill Biles. Jimmy Rolder's going to go, and you can't begrudge a guy like Jimmy Rolder. He's playing a lot of football. He's going to go to the NFL, and if he's even a 6th-round draft pick, he's going to make more money in the NFL than he is in NIL at Michigan. So I understand if you want to play football for a living, go get coached and practice and do it for your day job. I have no qualms. Thanks for playing for Michigan. Best of luck in the NFL. But yeah, we got to get some of these transfer portal guys starting with this kid out of Cal.
Scar and Dew are going to be bouncing around with Hail Media. So be looking for us on Sundays or possibly Mondays. We're going to be working with Hail Media, a group that is up and running and doing great things. Hail Media, we're going to talk about them some more. But we're doing Scar and Dew are going to be working with them, and they got it going. Tim McCormick over there, a lot of great things going on over there. All kinds of new people coming to Ann Arbor. Braden Fowler Nicolosi at Colorado State. Now, I've watched that kid play. I watched him beat Prime. He was the quarterback in that big game, I think, anyway, he is exactly what, when you look at this Whittingham offense, he wants athletic, tough guys playing quarterback. He'll take an average passer with a tough, athletic kid. I think that's one of the reasons he let Jaden Davis walk. Okay, Jaden Davis is not the prototype. I don't know if this guy would recruit Jaden Davis. I really don't know if he would, because I think he wants an athletic, tough kid that can put his head down and run a guy over. But Nicolosi, this kid has started 28 games.
Yep.
I saw him play up and down, do some real good things, but he's a runner. He's a tough kid. He's an athletic kid. 28 starts. It gives you a great deal of comfort as a backup. Now, I really like the Elon kid. I was looking at the kid who played at Elon, but I think we're in a bidding war with some good people on him. And it gets to the point, where you're the coach, you can't wait too long, man. No. I remember Bo telling me signing day was on a Wednesday. He said, "You got to let me know, Scarcelli. You got till 8:00 Sunday night. I got to get it going. Are you in or out?" He said, "In or out."
Yeah.
In or out. So anyway, I think Whittingham had to make a decision. But we don't know. Maybe he wanted this kid more. But I like this. I like where we're at there. Thoughts on him? 28 starts.
He's played college football for 4 years. He started a game every single one of those 4 years. He redshirted his freshman year. He's thrown 38 touchdown passes, 29 interceptions. He's a 60% completion guy. He ran the ball about 100 times in his career at Colorado State. I think that's the most ideal guy you can possibly get. An upperclassman, a guy who's competed, and a guy who can, I think, legit push Bryce, which I think you need. Now, I don't think anybody's expecting this kid to start, but you got to go into practice knowing that there's somebody looking over your shoulder. And I think this is a good guy to have. 6'3", 205 pounds. He left this year. So Mike Norville was the coach at Colorado State, and that's the guy who recruited him and developed him. When Norville got canned after the first few games at Colorado State, Braden decided he was going to walk away from the program. And the interim coach had a really good quote that he said that he would go anywhere. He would swear for this guy up, down, and sideways of what a good kid and a good competitor he is. And he had nothing but good things to say, even though the guy was leaving his program right after Norville got. So that says something about this kid, that the coach who's left without the quarterback is still willing to back him up. So that's great.
Well, that's Whit and his crew doing his homework. I'm sure our coaches had history with them, knew people, knew these things. Shug is back in the house. I like Shug, number 20, good player. Got nothing. He's done nothing but get better. I like the way he plays football. I'm fired up. Number 20 is back.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a really important keep for next year's class, because we lost a lot of guys in the portal. They're still working on, from what I understand, they're still working on Jordan Young to come back. Even though he's in the portal, they're working on making out something. But we lost Hillman. You can't, Dotson. So we needed to solidify some of these upperclassmen. And Jair's a good guy to have. He's a good competitor, man, and they're going to teach this guy a couple of things, and he's going to be a good defensive back, but an upperclassman. And I'm going to keep saying that because you've probably all heard or read about how old the IU roster is.
Yeah.
They average 23 point something years old on their roster. Well, teams in the NFL are right about the same average age.
Yeah.
And you need guys who have been in the league in college football or on your team for 3 or 4 years. That's how we won the 2023 championship. We had a bunch of upperclassmen. And I can't stress that enough, how watching Indiana do what they do might be the secret sauce.
Yeah. I mean, we can jump on that right now then. Miami is going to go against IU. Okay,
Yeah.
what they do? They both got a pretty damn similar blueprint. We go steal somebody else's quarterback. We bring in real good. Listen, I've never been a big fan of Cristobal down there, but this year he put it together. He spent his money wisely. You got to spend your money wisely, bringing in good players that are proven good players. And so he's got some damn good players on defense. He runs the ball. He's got a big, huge offensive line. He's got a stud quarterback, accurate quarterback. He's got receivers. He went and got a good defensive coordinator. That's going to be a hell of a football game. And then you got Signetti went and stole a quarterback, and he's a hell of a coach and brought good players in. And both of these guys, you got to coach though too, dude. You got to coach.
You do, man.
You can't
but
just bring in players. And we can't, I see some of these guys in the media, they want to keep taking shots at Signetti. Oh, he just bought a team. He just bought a team. Well, a lot of guys are buying guys, man. Okay, you got to coach too, man.
Yeah, there's a league down south that's been buying guys for decades.
Yeah.
So that's today's game is you got to buy guys. And listen, you look in the playoffs and you look at the teams that advanced, and it's the ones that had the best quarterback play. So here you got Mendoza, who's played outstanding this year, been great, Heisman Trophy winner. Beck, who had a couple of stumbles early in the year, but when it came time in the playoffs, the guy has been money. He hasn't thrown for huge numbers, but you need a solid quarterback. Look at the teams that lost. What happened? Well, Texas Tech, the quarterback couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. Julian Sayans struggled in their game. Dante Moore against Indiana last weekend. First play of the game, he throws a pick six. Quarterback is the key. Yes, you got a coach. Yes, you need some age. Yes, you need defensive linemen, offensive linemen. You need playmakers. But, man, it all starts with that quarterback.
Yeah, it does. But do I say this, man? And, we played at Michigan when they used to read the stat to us that the team that won the Big Ten championship for 20 years led the league in defense versus the score. They read that stat to us, and it was consistent. Both these guys play real good defense. They are both very, very well coached on defense. Smart guys, tough guys. Players are coached up. They have a similar blueprint. I said it in terms of the way they built their team. So enough of that. We're just going to bounce around.
Just real quick to just expand on that point. Indiana gives up an average of 11 points per game. So they're number 2 in the country behind Ohio State. But they have a better quarterback. That's why they won.
Yeah.
Miami is like 4th. They give up 14 points per game. So this matchup is against 2 really good defenses. Now, what are they going to do on offense? And third down conversions, that's going to be a big deal, man. Getting off the field against a good quality quarterback. Your defense has to be on top of things.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, the game is in Miami, so they're playing on their turf. A couple other off-the-wall things. John Harbaugh, I like seeing him back in the mix, getting highly touted. I've known John. John, did you ever meet him when he came up to visit Jim back in the day?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, great guy. He was hanging out with us with Flying Brian Pillman, his buddy up at Miami. Yep. But I'm glad that John is going to get back in. Our offense, I said it, our offense is going to look similar to the Ravens. Good to see Colston Loveland making big plays. Even though I'm not a Bear fan, but we're always cheering for our Wolverines. Michael Hart resurfacing at Eastern Michigan. So it's good to see a Michigan guy, Michigan coach getting things going again. So let's talk about our big running back, Justin Haynes. Had a great year for us. Couldn't work it out. They couldn't get the things get things figured out. We don't know what the negotiations look like, but we got a great player coming in, the best running back in the country. You got Marshall, who's a proven stud. And what do you think, Dude? Was it a business decision? They couldn't come to a compromise?
100%. So Michigan has to look what they have in the running back room, but what they need in other places. And they just couldn't afford to keep Justice Haynes. He's a great running back, and I would rather see him play for us than anybody else, but not at the expense of a wide receiver that we just got tonight. We got that French, Jamie French. Yeah. But, you need to pay a guy like Jair Hill. You need to pay some of these other defensive linemen that came in, John Henry Daly. You got to pay him. You have to pay for a lot of positions. And we could not put so many eggs in the running back basket. I'm sorry to see him go. I hate what college football has come in that regard, because this is a business decision. This is more like pro football, and it's unfortunate. But on the other hand, for Justice Haynes, if Georgia Tech is throwing around the kind of money that we're hearing, good for him, man. Good for you. Go get that money. Go play college football and have yourself a year. We won't face him unless we play him in the playoffs. So I wish him nothing but the best. I like what we have in the running back room with Marshall, Hyder, and then the kid from Oklahoma, Taylor Tatum.
Yeah, hopefully he's healthy and just needed to get in the right situation. The Oklahoma kid, and same with the Florida guy or the kid coming from Texas. Some of these guys that haven't played. I was telling my buddy before we talked that back in our day, when guys were recruited, John Vitale was an offer the night before signing day, not highly recruited at all. Ended up being a great player. There's other dudes we played with that were 5-star, #1 recruits in the country or in the state. I remember some of these guys. I'm not going to mention their name, and you could tell within a couple of weeks they were never going to play. And you could tell John Vitale on day 3 or 4 of practice, Mark Mesder, these dudes are going to be crushing people. Yeah. Okay, you could tell right away within the first couple of weeks of practice. But anyway, back in our day, they would eventually find their ways to kind of run guys off, maybe not giving them as much love. But with the way things are now, if you're a highly recruited guy and you're not very good, it's real easy to get rid of a guy. You know what I mean?
Well,
my point is I have to believe our coaches did their homework on this kid. I know he was a highly recruited receiver, and I'm hoping that, he's legit and just didn't get it. I mean, I know he played against behind some good players there. That's just something I'm always concerned with.
Well, and you have, again, because it's a whole new ball game compared to what we were playing. It's a whole new ball game than it was 5 years ago. But you look at like Haywood, 5-star, high 4-star recruit, paid him a lot of money to come to Michigan. Didn't play really last year and is going to be behind some guys that got a lot of experience. And now he wants to renegotiate. I'm not saying this is the case, but this is what I heard. And what we hear is just rumors because we can't verify it. But if the rumors are true that after his first year of getting a big contract because he was a highly rated recruit, now he wants to renegotiate for more and you're not playing, we can't do it. I'm sorry. Yeah. There's no way we can give you more money when we still got to find another tight end. We got to find a backup quarterback. We got to find 2 defensive tackles. We got to find another safety. So it's just the way it is.
I was talking about this now. It's like, okay, Strayhorn hadn't played all year. We put him in the bowl game. We give him playing. This is the old school thinking was I want to develop my guys in practice. I want to do everything I can to get them game reps, to get them ready. And now it almost like you're penalized for giving a kid game reps so everybody sees it. Because the enemy, the people looking at your roster now knows that you must have faith. You must have high hopes for this kid because you put him in the game in your bowl game. Yeah. And what happens is now Alabama offers him a big contract because they saw him in the game. It's almost like you want to develop your guys, but you don't want no one to know how they're developing. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy.
Hey, look at our rotation on defense and look at how many freshmen, including in the Ohio State game, look at how many freshmen played. And I scratched my head on why we were playing so many guys so far down the depth chart. And other people would say, well, you have to play these guys because if you don't give them some playing time, then they're gonna transfer out. Well, guess what? We went and gave these guys playing time, and what happened? They transferred out.
Yeah.
So I don't ever want to hear, oh, you got to give them playing time or they're going to leave. Listen, man, if a kid's going to leave because he's not getting enough playing time, then leave. You earn your playing time. You don't beg for it.
Yeah. Any comments showing up, dude, that we need to jump on?
I haven't
take a peek. Anyway, I'm gonna go on to something else. I got a buddy who's knows a guy who's just made a big move from one school to the next. I don't know. I haven't seen this, but dude, this is happening. This guy knows blah blah blah. He had 4 schools lined up. He was going to visit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he takes his first visit to a big school, and they work out a price. And the kid says, well, okay, I'm going to go to 3 more schools. And they tell him, look, I'm going to throw 50 grand on top of what we just agreed to. And you end it right now and shut it down and no more visits. And we're good. I'm throwing 50 more on top. That's happening. 50 grand, in some cases more, to shut down the end of your visits.
Yeah.
And that is happening right now, man.
It's unbelievable. I think you told me that these kids who are for official visits, they're requesting cash, first class tickets on planes.
Yeah.
What a world do we live in, man? These are are you kidding me?
Yeah, for first class tickets for the crew, mom, dad, a couple others, 5-star housing, and that's really happening. Okay, Metcalf, is Metcalf in the portal?
TJ Metcalf is in the portal, yes.
Oh, man, I thought he was a really, really good player. But again, we don't know what our coaches know. We don't know what they plan on bringing in and why they couldn't get that figured out. I really liked him. Hopefully, I thought he was a big-time pickup. So anyway, that's that. Any thoughts on that?
I don't know. Just reading, listening, kind of peeking in on some message boards and chats and whatnot, and might not have been the perfect fit for the kind of defense that Jay Hill wants to run. So maybe that was the case. So I don't know. I prefer to have him back because, again, an upperclassman with experience.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't start till my 4th year, dude. I needed every one of those years to get ready. Weight room. I was a 4th-year guy. Started my 4th and 5th year. Wasn't close to being ready as a sophomore, young guy like some of these guys are playing. Okay, let's talk about IU Oregon real quick. That game we just saw. The pick 6 to start the game. Scheme, man. So much of that stuff is you want to blame the quarterback. A lot of it is scheme and the guy at Indiana they're paying him $3 million, I guess now. Been with Signetti for 10 years. Smart defensive coach. I was happy to see Oregon get their ass kicked. I think Dan. Look, he's done some good things. They won the Big Ten championship last year, dude. But you know what? Me and you played for a guy that was always talking about teaching guys how to win, how to lose. Doing things the right way. This guy has a reputation of doing just nasty things when he wins a football game. He wins in Ann Arbor. He calls a timeout late in the game so that his players can see the Michigan fans walk. I mean, who the hell teaches that? Who teaches that to their players? Okay, I coached 25 years, and, man, if one of my JV coach did some stuff like that or my younger coaches, I would just crack them upside the head, man. That's just terrible. So I was not sad to see him get his butt kicked because that's not what we should be teaching our players. But do you play somebody the second time around? It's really, really coaching is a huge factor in that second time around because I've done it as a coach and, dissecting what did he do? How do I analyze? What's going to be his plan to counter what I did? And the chess match of round 2 and Signetti crushed him from that standpoint.
Well, I told you on the last podcast 2 weeks ago, I don't ever see Dan Lanning winning a national championship.
Yeah.
And last week was exactly why. A lot of talk, a lot of bravado, a lot of flash. But when the rubber hit the road, he got his butt kicked. And Signetti and Mendoza and the defense, they were prepared, and the lights weren't too bright for them, which is just amazing. That 2 years removed from being a 3-9 team, these guys, the lights aren't too bright on the national semifinal stage, and they just dominated in every conceivable way. What a great showing by IU. And I'm not I don't have any love lost for Lanning. I would have liked to have seen Dante Moore succeed because he's a Detroit guy, but
Yeah.
you know what? I'd rather go with the Indiana than
Yeah.
Oregon.
But it gets back to what I said. Okay, they both got players. Whose roster has more talent? I mean, it gets down to coaching still. You still got to coach. Okay, and our guy that we got, our guy can match Signetti. That's how I believe, because he's done it. He's beaten Michigan 3 times. He beat them SC teams many times when they had all that SC talent, all that SC recruiting power. He's over here at Utah. He was the only, I won a lot of money betting on Utah when he played against SC. I always used to like him. Anyway, I think our guy is right there and can match Signetti. Stanford and some of these teams they got to find diamonds in the rough. I'm looking at NIL. We got our guy going over there, Davis Warren. Wish him luck. Great, good Michigan man.
Hey, listen, man, just real quick on Davis Warren, because I'm a big, first of all, as a walk-on myself, I have got nothing but love for walk-ons. But let's look at this kid who had leukemia his junior year. His senior year was canceled. He came here at Michigan as a walk-on, goes on to win the biggest upset in the history of the game, gets his undergrad degree from Michigan, and is now going to go out to Stanford for a grad degree. This kid's winning in every way possible. Congratulations to him. Thanks for what you did for Michigan. Go be great. Take that degree and make $1 billion, man.
Yeah. There's a lot of programs that have to they're not going to be able to outbid, like TCU lost their quarterback to Indiana. Stanford's going to lose guys to other schools. Those guys at Stanford, TCU, some of these type tier programs, they got to be smarter. They got to find diamonds in the rough. They got to outcoach guys because they don't have the room for error like Ohio State, Michigan, Notre Dame, Oregon. Some of these people that are going to have more money. So I just my hat's off to those guys. They got to outcoach people, outlead people, out-scheme people. Strength coach at Michigan. This is his time. So it's official. Doug Alicia. How you say it?
Alicia, I think.
Okay. Anyway, he's in the house. He's been with Witt for a long time. He'll get these guys stronger, fired up, motivated. Looking forward to meeting him. But he is now. It is his time now, and they probably. Did they start? Did they start officially tomorrow? You think, or did they start last week?
I would think tomorrow will be the first day of winter conditioning because they just got done with the bowl game. Get home to family for a minute. Get classes started on the 5th, I think it was, and so now you're back at it, and he'll get the program going right now.
Dude, I remember when we were playing. It's like that is like when it hits you in the face. After the bowl game, you've got your team. You just played your bowl game. You got your 100 dudes in there, and who the captains and the leaders are, and all this and all that. And now you're in the weight room, all right? And now it's all where are those dudes? Where's Stephon Humphreys? Where's Anthony Carter? Where's Paul Geary? Those guys are gone.
Right.
They graduated. But I remember being that young. You know this. We were those young peons at one time. And then you take a notch up. Every year you take a notch up. But then I remember that one year, after all those dudes are gone, now I'm a senior, man. And now it's like, okay, I got to step up and lead and motivate and, lead by example. But that's happening in that weight room. And I'm looking forward to meeting this guy. But Witt brought him. I thought he might stay at Utah. He's been there a long time. Yeah. But he came out to Ann Arbor with them, man. So I'm fired up for him. But it is his time now, starting tomorrow. And you and I know, and anyone that's played college football, that's where the culture starts. That's where the championship, the foundation starts.
Yeah, he's got an interesting take. He doesn't. He's not that rah kind of guy. He's not that screamer. He's not that. You know, uh, slogans. He's just let's get down to business, man. Let's get to
Yeah,
work. Let's work on what you need to work on. Let's work on getting you bigger, faster, stronger. I like this guy's approach. I like his demeanor. And there's a lot of guys that need it, obviously. And just this is like you said, where you make the team too, because now you're sweating it out with these guys, and
that's
now
right.
you're not hiding. Your group isn't over there, and my group's over here, and the quarterbacks over. We are all in the locker room or in the weight room together. We're all out on the field doing sprints together. We're all
That's right.
climbing that hill together. There's no hiding from conditioning, man.
Yeah, you got to build that love to fight for each other in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell a quick Gittleson story. Do you remember Billy Harris, big Bama land?
Oh, yeah.
Billy,
Big nose
lovely
guard.
Billy, but hey, for some reason Billy was late in a workout. No one ever missed workout, but they went to his apartment. The strength Joe English, Joe English and the boys went to his apartment with some weights and some stuff, and they had him throwing up all over his living room. That's the kind of guy we worked. That's the kind of guy our strength coach was.
Man, Gittleson.
Anyway, dude, I called it. It's not official. It's still out. Nothing's official, but I called it. Sam Levitt will take the big money from Uncle Luther and the boys down in Miami. I'm calling that. I'm making that prediction.
Yeah.
That he's going to go with that. Anyway, I love this line. I've heard it again from Witt, and it talks. It's going to start slowly get instilled. You will become us. We will not become you. I love that line. Yeah. And it's fundamental, foundational. We're in charge. Get in with the program and figure it out.
Yep.
What else is going on? So, any other comments that you see?
Yeah, we got some comments. Sorry that we took so long to get to these guys, but somebody wanted to know what was the holdup with that tight end JJ Buchanan. I don't know. I think that he's close to being in the barn, but nothing official yet. I still think it's going to happen. Somebody asked, no QB 2 or 3. You may not have heard 0861, but Braden Fowler Nicolasi of Colorado State. He is joining the program. He's going to be a fifth-year player now. He's coming in. He's going to be our backup quarterback to Bryce. 19 players on their starting lineup are in their 4th year or higher. That comes from cut from a different cloth. Yep. You cannot make up for age and experience. And Kurt Cignetti is changing the paradigm of college football, where it's let's get some older guys, let's get some guys. You were talking a minute ago about these coaches at the smaller programs. Let's take, for instance, Eastern Michigan or anybody in the MAC. They're going to be kind of your G League, I think, going forward. You're not going to want to spend a lot of money on high school recruits right now, unless they're extra special, because you can't afford to. What if the guy doesn't hit? You just spent a lot of money. Let these, say, a MAC school or American Conference or Big West or something like that. Let them find these guys, and the ones that rise to the top, they're going to make money. You're going to throw your money at that guy. If you got a guy that's at Eastern Michigan right now, and he's got 10 sacks on the year, and he's 6'5" and he's 270 pounds as an edge or whatever, you're going to go give that guy money before you go give a high school kid money. So this whole thing, and again, Cignetti has changed the paradigm on how this can work. They're not spending a lot of money and resources on high school recruiting because they don't want it. They don't have time. They're not going to wait for development. Go find a guy that you can hit the ground running.
Yeah. Couple thoughts here. Listen to Hill, our new defensive coordinator. He's a big rotate D-line guy. So he is a believer in rotating and keeping fresh multiple defensive linemen, less with the linebackers. I understand it because a lot of times those guys are your quarterbacks, the brains of your defense, get people lined up. But a different thing from Wink and some of our other guys, even less with the secondary guys. So
well, we better get some linebackers and D linemen if they want to rotate, because right now we're low spinning.
I thought that was because that's it. Those are philosophical beliefs. I like rotating a lot of guys. Me as a coach, I know, as a player, it's better to, if I can go, if these guys go 40 reps, are you kidding me? I remember playing games 80 reps. I took every freaking snap.
Well,
And it's a whole different. It's better to rotate guys at every damn position.
You told me in a conversation this week that you lost probably 15, 20 pounds from the first game to the Ohio State game.
That's right. Yeah.
So, you have to have guys that you need a guy that it's more specialty work now on the defensive line. You need guys that are stout against the run. Then you need guys who are a little bit more fast twitch that can get off the line and rush the passer. You cannot possibly go constantly every down, every series as a defensive tackle. You'll be in the tent by the fourth quarter.
Anyway, we'll get a feel for what Hill does on defense, but I just read his statement, which is, you got to rotate them D linemen.
Yeah.
I'm going to make this prediction, I think that our offensive line coach, and I think when I watch Utah play, when I watch what they run a lot of gap scheme. He wants to pull every lineman, a lot of jet sweep. You want athletic linemen to do that. I'm gonna say now that I think you're going to see 5-10 pounds trimmed off of our offensive linemen, and I just think that that's something he believes in. He's going to want a little more foot speed. We'll see how that plays out. Any thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, off the very first thought that comes to my mind is there's likelihood that Link moves to guard. And he's a really good run blocker, and that's a good position for him. But if foot speed is important and a priority for a guard because he's got to pull around, I don't see a lot of foot speed from Evan Link.
Yeah.
So that'll be an interesting development. Afobe, I think, has it. Norton maybe is in between Link and Afobe. But that's going to be an interesting dynamic and how he runs that.
Yeah. People were panicking a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago about all these guys in the portal. And I said it then, and I'm seeing it now. When you hire the right guy, I don't care how many guys get in the portal. You let that guy talk to him for 30 minutes and you get the money guy next to you and you figure your plan. Don't worry about it. The right guys, he'll bring the right guys back.
Yeah.
So, and some of them we just couldn't. Now listen, we can't. No one's happy to see Sullivan leave. That's the one that hurts the most because
that one did hurt.
Yeah, that's the one guy more than any of them that, especially now with seeing Rolder go, that we got to make sure it happens. But for the most part, Whittingham and his staff have done a good job plugging in and sitting these kids down and getting that going.
Yeah, he brought back those linemen. That was important. Just brought back Hill. That's super important. Yeah. They're working on Etta. I don't know what's taking so long on that. But you got to think that these guys have got a lot to think about. These kids, somebody is throwing a lot of money at you, and they're putting pressure on you now. But here's your coach at Michigan, Whittingham, who's also trying to, hey man, we want you here. So on one hand, you got your teammates and you got your new coach. They want you to come here, but you got some guy that is offering you more money. And it's just got to be, your head's got to be spinning as a 20, 21, 22-year, whatever it is. So, yeah, give him some time. And he was successful with some of the linemen, important guys to get back, I might add. And didn't get them all, but now we got to go get some of these portal guys. So
tight end is something I'm concerned with. But, I've looked at some film now of him. We're going to look at some more BYU Utah film. This dude is Jim Harbaugh philosophy. I talked about it with Denny the other day. He'll take 300-pound defensive tackles like John Harbaugh does, like Jim Harbaugh did, and make tight ends out of them. Believe me, you're going to see a guy like Eno Etta. I know people might think you might see some former defensive linemen playing tight end. There's going to be a 300-pound kid playing tight end for Michigan that maybe didn't even play tight end this past year. You heard it here first, guys.
Well,
Stars throwing it out because when we look at this number 99 and this 49, these guys ain't no damn. They ain't running down the middle. Okay, they're blocking dudes. So I think you're going to see that because I think that's what he, that's what he wants.
Did you see a game earlier in the NFL today? They had a tackle lined up as an eligible tight end. He might have even been in the slot. Did you see that guy? He ran a post pattern. Like this was a legit wide receiver route.
Wow.
So, I don't know if it's going to be Edo just based on we have a lack of numbers at defensive tackle. But this Buchanan guy, if they get him, he's not really a hand in the dirt tight end.
No,
He's only had five snaps where he's been attached to the line. But I listen personally. I think that Whittingham came in, saw what he had in the tight end room, and thought, all right, we don't got to spend a lot of time worrying about this. Let's go worry about positions that we need to fill. I love Zach Marshall has gotten so much better over the last couple of years. And last year he showed some chops as a receiver. He's a great blocker. We got to get Hansen healthy and get this Buchanan kid. And then I think there's one more, and I don't know why his name escapes me at the moment, but I think the tight end room is going to be okay. I think that's going to be a room that Whittingham's happy with.
Yeah. 42. I haven't heard his name. What the hell's his name again?
He's not going anywhere.
Good. I like him, man. I like
Mason. Is it Mason?
No, the fullback tight end guy.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Whatever. You guys know who I'm talking
old
about.
Guys can't remember jack crap.
I like that kid. I was looking to see if he's in the portal.
No.
But who else on your list, the in and out guys did we want to talk about that we didn't hit on?
So Jordan Young is the defensive back. They're trying to get him back. Haynes gone. TJ Metcalf, I don't see that he's been announced to anybody else. I'm sure they want to try and keep him. Cusdall, Brandon Hillman, Brady Priscorn, the tight end. He was always injured. He couldn't get any time. Etta, Elijah Dotson. I haven't seen his name. And Mangum went to Purdue. So, yeah, man, I don't know. We want to make sure. And Shamari Earls has not been announced one way or the other. He's not in the portal, but they have to complete a deal for him. So just like Sugar Hill tonight, he should have an announcement about running it back or being back or whatever it is.
Well, the biggest jackpot we haven't even talked about is the big edge player from Utah that we got coming to Ann Arbor.
John Henry Daly.
Okay, we haven't even talked about it. People, I think that it's a misconception. I think, look, we both played for Bo Schembechler and we love him, but there's guys that played for Bo Schembechler that didn't love him, that were starters or good players. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that if they had an opportunity to go to another school, it's not an automatic that you want to go play for that guy. Right. I just think that people make that they just lock that in like, well, he's automatically love the situation and love everything about the coach.
No,
but I think that's a great thing that Witt was able to pluck the diamonds out of there for the most part. Then we got the big defensive lineman too. So those are two. I think we have some pretty good edge players back. But inside defensive line is huge. That guy's a good player, and the edge player is a damn good player. So we're up and running with two guys that know that system, and
well, John Henry Daly's coming off an Achilles tear, so he's got to rehab. He will play this year. He said so as much himself. Somebody had said that he wouldn't play in 2026, and he himself responded to that tweet or message or whatever it was that he'll be back in 6 months. So he'll rehab and get back, and we expect him to be fully ready to go by the fall. Jonah Leah, I'm sorry, man. Yeah. But yeah, that was a big get, defensive lineman from Utah. Huge get, because obviously we lost some guys. Graduating, and defensive line, we just got done talking about how important it is. Look at Miami. Miami's defensive front is what's going to keep him in the game on the 19th. So we need some defensive linemen. So it was good to get those two guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Miami's recruited really good defensive linemen, and they coach them up good. God, what else? Anything else on your list there then, Du?
No,
before we
just
get on the film?
some of the targets. That Smith Snowden, he's a safety, defensive back for Utah. We're looking at him. That J.J. Buchanan, we talked about. That Rasheem Biles went to Texas. There's a linebacker from MSU. Actually, his brother played at Utah, and this kid played up at Michigan State. Isaiah Moa.
Yeah.
So he's one of our targets. There's another kid now, Justin Denson from Michigan State, that has been brought onto the target board. And then there was a tight end that was committed to us. Then he changed and he went to Penn State, Andrew Olish.
Yeah.
So he went in the portal when there was after the season because of the coaching change, but he just announced going to Oregon. So anybody who thought about Andrew Olish, he is off the board.
I threw this question out. I want to get maybe our people listening give their thoughts. Utah and BYU did a great job recruiting the Samoan type dudes because of the Mormon situation, Utah, BYU. And then my buddy says, well, that's only BYU. I said, well, Utah has a lot of them too. And then I made the assumption that I don't know that Witt will be able to recruit those guys as easily to Ann Arbor. And my buddy says, well, I think you're wrong. I think he's got a connection. They'll come to Ann Arbor just as easy as they go to Utah or BYU. I wonder what the answer is to that question, because he obviously has a 20-year, he was at BYU in 1978, played with a lot of Samoan guys who are great football players. And I just wonder if that is a non-factor, that he can recruit those kids just as easily as BYU and Utah. I'd like some of our listeners have any insight on that. What do you think about that, Is it
not going to be 100% is not going to be as easy to recruit them to Michigan as it is for BYU and Utah and Weber State, where Hill was coaching. There's a huge, it's Utah, man. It was the Mormon church is right there. That's why these guys go to these schools. Right. Is because that's the Holy Land, to use a term.
All right.
We can get some. We have some coaches that are now a part of that church. We have some coaches that are Samoans that are part of that church. So will we get some? Yeah, we've had a couple in the past. I think I mentioned before. So Sione Huma and Brian Monet come to mind. Yeah. But yes, will we get more than we've had? Yeah, I think so. Is it going to be as easy as it is for BYU and Utah? No way. No, that's just traditionally that's been their home.
All right, dude. We ready to get on some film? We're going to look at some more Utah BYU and get an idea where we're at, what we expect to see. How are we looking? You got the film up?
Yep, do. Yep.
All right. Hey, again, Scar and Do coming at Hale Media Group Sundays, possibly Mondays, but it's going to happen. We're going to be working in with them a little bit. Great group, getting things going at Hale Media Group with Scar and Do.
That's a Michigan brand, by the way. There's Michigan guys that run it. A bunch of Michigan people that are putting on these podcasts and videos and whatnot. So these are family to us because some of these guys played football for Michigan. McCormick played basketball there, as you know. So, Hale Media. We're going to send out. I'll tweet it out. If you're not following me on Twitter, I usually take the off season off, but I'm at JDue51 at JDUE51, and then I will post when we're doing these live podcasts, and I'll put it on my feed so you guys can follow along and know when we're doing it.
Yeah, Chris Howard, Doug Cohen, getting it going. Former legendary Michigan players and the girls doing girls hoops. But dude, I'm just throwing out a guy like he's a guy that came to mind because he's been kind of an average backup D lineman. But could you see 320-pound at the lining up over here? You know what I mean? As a tight end instead of being a rotating backup You know what I mean? Coaches make those decisions, but
Sure they do.
I like what I'm seeing from this right here from both sides of the ball, because both sides are trying to screw the other guy. They're adjusting, they're formationing. I like what I see, because this is our offensive coordinator over here, and this is our defensive coordinator over here. So let's just watch how this transitions here. I'm going to start it right from here. So you got the offense coming out, defense trying to figure out how to get lined up. Now the offense is running motion. They're screwing with you. Look at all the pump faking going on offensively. Look at all the talking going on defensively. I mean, there's a lot going on right now. And I like seeing an offense that's trying to screw with the defense, and I see the defense that, you know what, it ain't happening. We're lined up. So this is good football from both sides of the ball. You know, play is kid makes a great catch, but I like all that. I like all the pre-snap stuff. You know what I mean, Do?
Yeah.
That is showing you any thoughts on any of that?
No, I do like that. I just, all I think about is get the damn ball snapped and don't take a delay a game.
No, I hear you.
Because I'm an old guy and I've seen it enough. Remember, Jim had that happen a few times. Son of a gun, I think we started a game one time where we had to call timeout.
No, I hear you. There's a downside to it, but there's, when you're vanilla, there's a downside. You got to be smart. You got to do this stuff, motions and shifting, and you got to do all this stuff and not have the delay. So that's the difference between the good teams and BS. So, but I just wanted to point that out because that's good
great
football.
Great throw.
Yeah, good football, both sides of the ball. What do we got here? We got one back. We got empty. Witt, dude, he wants an athletic. I don't think he wanted Jaden Davis. I don't think he wants those kind of guys. We've got our guy now. The kid from Elon would have been nice, but this is what he wants. He wants athletic guys. Let's take a look at an empty. What is he running? But the kid runs around and makes a play. We can all see. We've seen Bryce do that. Just jump in if you got something to say, Do.
Nope. That's what a good athletic. I mean, look at that's John Mateer, for Oklahoma. That's what he.
We got that kid coming to Ann Arbor next year, game 2, dude. He's back.
Is he?
Yeah, he's got another year, man. I thought he was done. I was looking at that. That kid's back. We got to deal with him again, man.
That's it. You can keep the film rolling and everything, but that's the new situation in college football too. Is some of these guys who might be a 6th round draft pick or a 4th round, 5th round, they can make more money. A guy like Mateer, for sure, a quarterback, they can make more money in college than they can in the pros. If you're looking at a 4th or 5th round or 6th round pick, and it's going to keep guys. And you know what? That makes college football better.
Yeah,
better guys that are good enough to play in the NFL or get drafted in the NFL are really good college football players. You want a better product? Keep those guys in college football, and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Anyway, here's a 2-back set. I heard some people online talking. Witt likes to run a lot of 2-back. Well, this dude ain't no damn back. He ain't getting the football. He's a blocker. So
give him the damn ball.
I mean, you got to know who's in the game. I haven't seen a formation yet where both guys are potential ball carriers. So he's either blocking here or coming back here to block. Anyway, there are 2 guys in the backfield. I don't know. I would treat that like a fullback. I would treat that guy like a fullback if I was coaching.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's move along here. Good run defense by Hill's defense. Let's take a look. What kind of technique they playing up front, Do? Low, flat backs. No movement. Good.
Yeah, but you said no movement. Watch the line of scrimmage, man. Those guys did not move anywhere. They held that line of scrimmage. It was a run play. They got good position. Their feet are wide and ready to move. Got their arms locked out. Hands. It looks kind of almost like they're playing a 2-gap type of tackle position, but they're not. But, they're prepared for either the quarterback dropping back so they can shuck that guy and run, or, hey, it's a handoff, shuck the guy and go make the tackle.
Yeah, this is all hands, punching, playing at the line of scrimmage, punching, no movement, nothing. That's what we got to do against the Buckeyes, Spartans. What do we got here? I don't know that I like this. I'm looking at little things. I'm seeing some confusion, guys coming in and out.
That's on the coaches.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's coaching. That is not players at all. And they're confused here. And this ends up being this guy's confused.
Well, you saw that you were talking about Witt using motion, using shifts, using personnel. Yeah. That's all in an effort to try and get the defense confused, get them thinking. Because if they're thinking, they're not running.
That's right. Because people have guys that coach offense and play sometimes putting one guy in motion. All you want to do is screw up one guy over here. There's 11 dudes. Just get one guy misaligned. This guy. Get one guy confused with a shift, a motion. So this guy goes in motion, and look, for some reason, it causes a problem. It causes confusion. And this guy is screwed up, this dude here, and then the way they run this route, the one guy is screwed up, and that's what you do with motion. Get one guy screwed up. You remember Coach Mo I remember Coach Mo saying, the guys, the difference between offense, one of the difference between offense and defense is they can have 4 guys screw up on a play and score a touchdown.
Yeah.
We can have one guy screw up on defense and it can be a touchdown.
Listen, man, I used to say that to my players all the time. I coached defense in high school, and I tell them it's harder to play defense because you can play every single play but one perfectly and lose.
Yeah.
The offense, on the other hand, can screw up every single play except for one and win.
That's right. Dude, this is why people were talking about some coaches out there that they'd like to see in Ann Arbor. Okay, look here now. There's 3 seconds left in the half, okay? 3 seconds left in the half. Again, now, we got to go against Ryan Day, Signetti, and Dan Lanning and all these other guys, right? Okay. So what did I write up here? Look at this play here. Look at this. End of the half, dude. End of the half. Look what he runs. 3 seconds left. You think he's a nice guy? People were talking about we wanted to hire a couple coaches out there because they were nice guys. What is Witt running at the end of the half? He's running a fake play. What the hell they used to call that? It's a form of fumblerooski. It's kind of like they're faking like they're gonna knee it down, right?
Right, yeah.
Anyway, my point of this is that I don't want no nice guy leading our program. Okay, I want a stone cold killer that can that when Signetti is looking across from him, he knows he's in a battle.
Yeah.
So that's what I want. And look what he runs here at the end of the half. So I just love it. He's thinking they're going to knee it down. No, man, he's going to give. Look how they sell this thing. Isn't that great? I mean, they don't score, but you never know. If BYU was sleeping, it could have been 6.
Yep.
It says a lot about the mentality of the guy we got leading the program. So that's what I like. So this is some Indiana stuff, dude. We haven't done a lot of this with McDonald and Winter and Wink. And the reason I like this is that our offense is going to see it from our defense. Because I think we play Indiana and they run a ton of this kind of stuff. This is a first down run defense play. And, Wink would run this on like third down, maybe a little TNT twist type deal. But he's running it on first down as more of a run defense tactic. So just take a look. Okay, you see that?
Yep.
So anyway, I like this. I like it because it's good. It works for your defense, but I like it because it's going to help our offense prepare for Indiana, because that's going to be a big game in Ann Arbor this year. That we got to have our offense ready to block that stuff. Here's a better look at it. And it's just, again, we ran that when we were playing, but it was always on a passing situation. We're screwed up here on defense. So what's Hill running here? Yeah, this guy's confused. So they throw a wheel out there. I only got, I got one more play marked, but if you see something you want, and
I think, we've seen some of these films and whatnot, and I think we're going on an hour here.
Okay, we'll look at one more. This is our last play here then.
Yeah.
Last play right here. Let's see what we got. This is our base defense. And this is exactly the way we ran it. He's moving his nose over, but here's, again, this guy can rush. This is the old school. This is BYU, dude, 1984. This is what they ran. They ran our defense just like we did. Same defense. If you ever look at that film.
Yeah. All right. We should put that up.
Maybe I will, man.
You should get that, man.
I got it. I'll get it up here. But they're in a 3-4. This is the same stuff BYU ran when Whittingham played. This is the same stuff that we ran when we played. And
Jay Hill, Jay Hill runs a lot of different formations. He trots out a lot of different looking defenses.
So what does he do here? He's bringing a backer, and he's dropping this edge player late.
Yeah, a little sim pressure.
Yeah, but it's the same stuff we ran. We
did it. Yep.
Yeah, this is God. What the hell did we call that when we brought the backer? Dude, what did we call it? You remember that? I remember. Mike Mallory would be coming on that. I can't remember what the hell we called it, but it's the same damn stuff. Wink did run a lot of that.
Yeah, we did a lot,
but
sometimes too much.
Yeah. Anyway, we hit a lot of good stuff. We've got a backup quarterback, which is crucial.
Yep.
A kid that it's a perfect situation. 28 starts with some good young guys there. Herb Street's kid is there. Two good freshmen are on deck. So that's five quarterbacks there. Two that can play tomorrow and be ready to go, because I also read where he might even look to bring another one in. Did you see that? A third?
A quarterback?
Yeah, maybe I was.
I think he absolutely wants to bring in a third quarterback, because right now you'll have Bryce and you'll have Braden, the transfer.
Yeah.
Then you have second year Herb Street, and then you got the freshman, two freshmen. Yeah. So you need another guy.
Yeah.
Especially you can't have it. Listen, man, you can't have enough. And if that Elon kid now, maybe he's the next Trinidad Chambliss. But if not, and he wants to go from Elon to the University of Michigan, get on board, man. Great place to go to school. Great place to play football, play in the big house, big crowd. I tell you what, it'll change your life, based on you playing at Elon. But maybe he has higher hopes of being the starter. I don't know. I haven't watched the kid's film, so I don't know.
All right. Any other final comments or questions there that our listeners had?
No, people just looking forward to the off season, see how it goes. We want to get some of these guys that are still lingering out there that are in the portal, get them out, get some of these targets, especially that we want to get the safety. We want to get that tight end, probably looking at another quarterback. Got to get that linebacker, the Cal linebacker.
Yeah.
Ulave.
All right, dude, my final thoughts. Be looking for Scar and Do, Hail Media. We're rolling. Enthusiasm in Ann Arbor. We're fired up. New quarterback, new president, new strength coach. They're pounding tomorrow. The team will start getting built. I'm all good. Over and out. Go Blue. Your final thoughts, Do.
Yeah, man, just it's an interesting offseason. It's another coaching change, but so far it's been pretty positive. And again, looking forward to the winter conditioning, and then an opportunity. I think we talked a little bit that we'll get a chance to go to a spring practice. So if we get a chance to do that, we'll let everybody know what goes on as much as we can. No inside secrets.
All right, man. Go Blue.